Evening, boys and girls. Welcome to today. And I did make content last week using this little 64 gig SanDisk micro SD thingy. Well, I've had this since I started YouTubing and I think it's failed. Because everything that has been or was recorded on it, and I've tried to record on it since, has been corrupted. So yeah, that didn't work, and nothing I could do would fix the files. So hence the reason there was nothing last week. And this week, Simon's become a dad for the third time. I think that's the best way I can term it. Little Evan was born a couple of days ago at point of recording. 3.5 kilograms, whatever that is in pounds, I don't know. It was induced a couple of weeks early, was induced a couple of weeks early because of excess fluid, and I think it took about 46 hours from when induction was started until the little one was born. So everything's gone on hold, as you can imagine. Myself and Simon aren't really doing too much at the moment because obviously newborn and all that jazz, you know. So little Evan has arrived. I'm yet to see the little one. Got to meet up with him at some point, but it won't be this week. I'm back to work tomorrow, and this bank holiday has really been testing my patience, I'll tell you that. It's really, bank holiday that's just gone has tested my patience with truck driving. I'm getting to the point now where I'm kind of checked out because I don't really want to do it anymore. I've been feeling like this for a while, and this weekend just reconfirmed it properly because, okay, I'm agency, fair enough. If you're full-time, you get certain shifts and all this, yeah, whatever. But I was doing days. I was starting between 12 and 1500, and I was doing 13:30 start times, wonderful. And I got a message come through saying, look, you know, because of a bank holiday weekend, they'll probably need you to start a little later than normal, but it'll be a shorter shift. Now, a little later, if you're starting between 12 and 1500, it's 4, 5, 6, that kind of thing, you know. And, well, I got the text message the day before, 2100. Okay, and the shift after that was back to days. And I was just like, no, I'm not going to do a day shift into a night shift into a day shift, because if you start at 13:30 and say you finish, what time did I finish? I think I finished about 11 p.m. that day. It wasn't too many hours, whatever. Well, you've now got no. Actually, I finished at 9 p.m, didn't I? Because it was 24 hours. I suddenly remember because I was laughing in the car on the way home. I had 24 hours before my shift started. And I was like, now what? It's a case of I either force myself through the rest of the night, which I did, then get to sleep and just try and stay asleep for as long as possible, and then just do, another 20-hour day, and then wallop straight back into a normal day shift. And of course, starting at 9 p.m, a short run had me in Leeds. So I flat out refused to do the Tuesday. I just flat out refused to do the last day. And that day was my 6th day on. And I was just like, nah, sorry, I'm not doing it. Because myself and Bert have one day off each week, and that's a Wednesday. That's our day together. It used to be a Tuesday, but then her work changed. And obviously the stuff I was doing with Simon, I needed Thursdays off. Her work changed, so she ended up having Wednesdays every week, but alternating the other day. So I changed to have Wednesdays, Thursdays off from a Monday, Tuesday. And it's a case of, okay, so I'll finish in the early hours on the Monday, and then I'll start late, effectively do an evening night shift style thing, and knacker my Wednesday. My only day each week but I'm not going to do that. I flat out refuse to do that. And so there was a few arguments there. And I just went, well, I ain't going in. So tough. And I used to. I used to be like, no, I'll do it. But now I can't be asked. I've got to that stage. I'm actually currently going through the application process for TfL taxi license stuff. I'm waiting for some stuff to come through, fill that in, send that away, yada 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 yada. Simon has started the taxi firm because he doesn't want to do what he's doing through somebody else. Now this is funny. Now you might be thinking, but hold on, isn't Simon an investor? Yes, he is. This is hysterical. Okay, this kind of sums what happens to Simon up perfectly. It's brilliant. It always has me laughing. I shouldn't, because it has knock-on effects for the car channel and everything like that, but it is just so funny. Basically, there's I don't really know the ins and outs of this because I'm not an investor. I'm not in that world. I'm hearing this kind of third and fourth hand style thing from Simon himself, but the way he's explaining it, and then of course from Jamie in other areas. Basically, if you're going to trade, be it hedge funds, that kind of stuff, because of what you're doing, you're working with large sums of money from investors, whether it's a company or an individual, whatever. Now, if you start trading on an international level, so one of the people that has given you an account to trade lives in a different country, there are certain rules regarding that kind of thing to obviously stop money laundering. And there's various documents you have to have in place, I's dotted, T's crossed, all the usual crap. Well, Simon got a new, I say new, it's a few months old now, but Simon got a new account from an Australian. Quite a large account. Obviously it's not Simon's money, it's the Australian's money, but money that he's generated, Simon charges a fee, X, Y, Z, so on and so forth. And he didn't get the correct paperwork and just started trading. I think he thought he did because he was trading for somebody else, I think in Germany or something, or France, one of the two, I can't remember off the top of my head. So he thought he had the right paperwork for whatever, but of course if you're trading with somebody in Europe, there's the EU, there's different paperwork, there's the freedom of movement of money and all that kind of stuff, whereas outside of the EU there's slightly different laws. And HMRC pounced on him and froze all of his accounts except the one account he uses for doing his Uber stuff, which he was doing because we wanted to do the car rental thing, basically just register cars and rent them to people who want to do Uber and stuff like that. And so Simon had been doing that, learning the ins and outs of it, because that's what he does. And all of his accounts got frozen for money laundering. They were believing he was money laundering. And at the moment, they're still frozen. So he's still got to do all of his investment stuff. He's got to invest for his clients, but any money that he's making from this, he's frozen. The knock-on effect of this is that if HMRC deem that he was money laundering, and none of us know exactly what's going on here because it's been a while now, it's been just I think it's been 2 months so far, they can just seize all of the money. They can just go, no, you were money laundering, that's ours, and he can actually face criminal prosecution. The kicker, and the reason it's taking so long, because you'd think, hold on a minute, the person in Australia can prove who he is and so on and so forth, and they can correct the paperwork. Yes. But this is where it gets hysterical. One of Simon's friends is a barrister. I don't mean works at Costa. I mean a lawyer, solicitor, whatever. And he was using his services, obviously, to draw up all the various bits of paperwork and stuff like that, as you would. I mean, it's your friend, why wouldn't you? Well, this person's currently getting done for fraud. And that's what actually triggered them looking into Simon's trading stuff. Because obviously barristers getting done for fraud, all paperwork that he's done, so on and so forth, and they looked into it, saw this, certain things were missing, and it's just so kicked off. And as you can imagine, Simon is fuming. He's decided that if he's going to have to stay taxi driving for the foreseeable future, he's not going to do it through third and fourth parties and, have them take X amount, whatever the percentage is. So I should say, I'm currently registering, like I said, to get my taxi license, my driving license thing. We are at the same time registering an office address within the TfL area, so within the M25 effectively, as a taxi office, a private hire taxi firm. Now he's obviously, since he's been doing his driving, because what we were planning on doing, has been making certain connections, meeting certain people, certain potential clients who are looking for a specific firm to do whatever. One of them's a rugby club, of course. He's got a couple of connections with pre-book stuff out at Stansted Airport, which is just down the road from me and just down the road from him. Me living in Braintree or that area, and him living in Bishop Stortford, Stansted Airport, collections. I mean, seriously, it's right there. So that's what we're doing, and since this has started happening, and obviously the stuff I've got to do with the YouTube work, and that is, I've bitten off way more than I can chew. I'll tell you that here and now. I'm going to be open, I'm going to be honest, I have bitten off way more than I can chew. I just don't have the time to screw about commuting to a different county, commuting back, doing a 12 to 15 hour day whilst I'm there. I mean, you might think, yeah, well, if you're going to taxi, you're going to be driving all the time anyway, Bill, Yes, that is absolutely correct, but there is a difference. For example, this Jag, which is currently completely undrivable at the moment, this Jag, well, the engine's got to come out, and it's got to be stripped down, and there's component parts that are going to need either remachining or just replacing. Now, that's fair enough. You send it away to a precision engineer. I'm not a precision engineer, not by a billion miles. You send it away to one of those guys. They get it done, and then you go and collect it or get it sent back or whatever. That's fine. The issue is you've got to send it, so there's money in sending it. There's money in, postage, obviously. You've got all of these different elements that can go wrong. Whilst it's being sent away, it could get damaged in transit. And there's all these other little bits and bobs that really you don't think of. It's like a car that's done 1 million miles. There's going to be consumables on that car that you don't think are consumables because you change them every 400,000 miles. It's that kind of thing. There's little things that you just don't think of. When I'm at work driving the truck, it's a case of I trundle off to work and I get in the truck and I go wherever I'm supposed to go. 10, 12, 15 hours later, I'm driving back. So now that's if I do a 15-hour day, 15, 16, 17, that's 18 hours outside of the building. I'm up for at least 21 hours minimum. And in that time, the only thing I've actually been able to do is drive a bloody truck. Now, let's say I'm doing the taxi stuff. I get a collection. Okay, so I'm collecting somebody from Stansted. I know what time I've got to be there when I start my day's work. So I stop in at the precision engineering place. There's a couple in Braintree that I'd be using. I stop in there, I dump the stuff I need off there, leave it with them. Okay, we'll get it done today, pick it up 5 o'clock. So I'll pick up my fare, do my bits and bobs, have a fare to come back from London or whatever, surrounding areas, have a fare to come back. On my way back, stop in, pick up the component part, bung it out of the way, pick up my fare, do my fare. I'm getting stuff done around my job, which I can't do driving a truck. And, I've had to sit down. I've had to think about it. I've been thinking about it for a while, and I can't keep going. I can't balance everything I've got to balance. And I know what Simon's earning. I know exactly what he's earning doing less hours than I do driving a truck. And it is substantially more than I'm earning driving a truck. And I'm not talking 50 or 60 quid. I'm talking substantially more. 300, 400, 500 quid more. There's no point to me continuing doing what I'm doing. So, yeah, there's that. But there you go. Now, I did, like I said, make content last week, but it all went up the yin yang. And I'm not really in that frame of mind. It was a bit of a rant, because I know some of you want me to do a rant. But I'm not really in that frame of mind at the moment, because this car has caused a few issues today. This car can start, and it can move. But that's, you don't really want to drive it, because it's been on my driveway for a while whilst I've been organising everything around it. And it's just, it's not able to be driven on the road because Simon's bunged it on a sawn and it's not taxed, but because it's in limp mode, it's got absolutely no power and the brakes they're not exactly good at the moment. I think something's failed somewhere. I think the servo's given up the ghost, or because it's been standing for a while, because it was standing before I got it. Something's not right. So the handbrake works, park obviously works, but the foot brake not so much. So it can't really be driven until we've fixed it. And with what's wrong with the engine, that's got to come out. And the thing is, I thought today what I'll do is I'll make some content inside the Jag, because I haven't done it for a while, and it's just a different view, back in the Jag, so it's still here. Haven't crushed it, although today I came bloody close, because it's been standing for a while. I haven't been starting it up. My fault. And of course the battery has not enough charge in it. So I've gone to unlock it, but the bleeper won't work. Now there's 2 keys to this car. One of them no longer works. Guess which one I picked up? The one that no longer works. And so I've unlocked it manually, because obviously when the battery's dead, the central locking don't work. So I've unlocked it manually, I've opened it, and I've got in. I've put the key in the ignition. Now this is the kicker. The battery might not be able, or might have dropped to a level where it won't allow the central locking to work, and it won't start the car, but it will allow the alarm to work. So I've put the key in the ignition just to see whether it would start, see whatever. I know, okay, the central locking's not working, it should have been a giveaway. But of course, nothing. And then all of a sudden, there was this kind of faint, and then it started growing, and I was like, oh God, that's the alarm. And it started growing and getting louder, and then it was a full horn, it was a full everything. I was like, oh Jesus Christ, now what? Bollocks. And, next door neighbours are they're in their back garden. I'm like, Jesus Christ. And of course, closing it and locking it don't matter. There's not enough battery power there. And I've got the wrong key. So now I'm like, oh, crap. So I've opened up the bonnet and I thought I'll just disconnect the battery. Yeah, don't do that. Okay, it turns out you don't do that. Because what that does is it sets off a different alarm. Now, the main alarm is the horn, the beep, 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 and then it goes off after so many seconds, and then comes back on, and it does that cycle for a while, and then it will stop. If you disconnect the battery, there is this high-pitched, high-C squealing alarm that kicks in. Oops. And that one doesn't shut off. They've got a dog. Dog's not liking it. It's going absolutely bonkers. I'm like, Jesus Christ. I'm trying to figure out what... I'm just like, right, that's enough's enough. The bonnet's open, whatever. I put the battery connectors back on. I get my jumper pack. I put the jumper pack on. I turn it to full max, and then I realise I've got the wrong key, because it's not, obviously if the jumper pack's on and it's in jump mode, there's enough power to do the central login. So I've realised, oh, I've got the wrong key. No wonder it's gone nuts. So I've run back in the house, got the right key. This thing's squealing its bloody head off like it's being mugged, murdered and raped all at the same time. It's gone absolutely nuts. I've come back and I've got the right key, and I've pressed it. Of course, I've still got the bonnet up, haven't I? So that's gone wrong. Oh, so I've been battering about like a thing possessed. I was like, so I've slammed the bonnet. I've still got the chargers on. So that's now fucked that idea up. I've slammed that one up. Oh God, I can laugh about it now. I was going frantic. I was like, bloody car bleeding thing. And I've pressed it, and there's been just enough juice for it to go click, click, and everything shut off. I've been like, thank you. And I've unlocked it. It's fine. I've opened the bonnet, and fortunately the little plastic handles have survived the slam. They've kind of moved. One of them's come off. So I've reconnected those. I've tightened up the battery terminals again, but God damn, this car is getting annoying. And all it's doing is sitting here. But yeah, on that note, because I know I've been going on for a while, hopefully in an entertaining fashion, on that note, got a couple of bits to do with Simon for content creation on this car. Of course, like I said, that's on hold because he's just had the Sprog turn up. Dan he's got to get back to me, but he's going to find a Thursday next month because he's got an engine crane, and well, he's the mechanic. So he's going to be coming round and helping me lift this engine out. Now he says, because his dad's had one of these and he's done the engine in that before now, he says it should take around 5 hours. Now I've got to get an engine mount, and to be fair, I think I'm just going to buy one instead of rent one, because I don't know how long I'm going to have it. I can get a decent one for about 130 quid. If I rent one and it goes on for a week or a month or more, I could pay more in rental than just buying one. So I'm going to buy one of those. The engine's going to come out, then it's going to get stripped down. That we'll obviously find the source of the water ingress and see what's going on. Hopefully nothing's cracked. Hopefully it is just a gasket, that kind of thing. Skim, do a skim of the heads. If not, replace them if they are iffy. Just have a look, see how badly worn everything else is. It's only got 127,000 miles on, which for a 2.5 V6 is not a huge amount of mileage. So hopefully there won't be any big gremlins in it. Get that sorted, get that recorded. The plan at the moment, touch wood, whistle, hop, skip, jump, dance around a Morris pole, whatever you want to do for good luck. The plan is to get the engine running and working back in this in August. And then it's drivable. It needs new wheels because two of the wheels, which I've just found out off of Simon, he didn't tell me, but the two back wheels, they lose air. And it's not because the tyres or the valves are iffy, it's because there was cracks in them. The wheels themselves, they've been repaired twice. I just looked at him and said, the alloys for X-types are really cheap. Why didn't you just replace them? So the two back wheels are pretty much dangerous. Another reason why I don't want this going on the road. But we'll get it drivable, hopefully. I'll order some other wheels. Yeah, I mean, scrapyards have loads of X-type wheels. I mean, they're 10 a penny off eBay, so I'll just order some wheels for it. Neither here nor there. I don't care whether the fronts and the backs match just to get it driving. It's the cheap heap, let's be honest. Get this back on the road, get it sorted out, bang it through an MOT. It's still got an MOT, but I'll bang it back through an MOT to see what else needs doing. And then go from there. Obviously, you got to sort out whatever's failed on the old brake servo. That'll probably just be replacing the damn thing, to be fair. Again, they're not expensive. But that's the plan as it stands at the moment. And I just thought I'd keep you up to date. But anyway, I think this is what, just over 25 minutes now, according to my GoPro. I think that's enough. I think I've dragged this on long enough. The neighbour's gone out. I'm going to leave this on charge for a couple of hours. Hopefully I'll remember to start this up once a week. Because if I start it up once a week, I shouldn't get the alarm issue ever again. Oh, bloody hell. I wish I'd been recording. You would have been pissing yourself laughing. Because I was looking under there thinking, right, well, worst case scenario, I'll just rip the wires out the horn. But, of course, I thought, well, just disconnect the battery. You know, me and electrics, I've said this before, we don't get on. I really just don't understand the systems. I mean, if you give me a drawing, I can see where the system's broken. But if you give me a wiring loom, I will just dribble. I have no clue. I've never hidden that fact. Which should make some of the content that we're going to be making quite fun. Because I know that either Dan or Simon is going to give me a wiring loom to install. I guarantee it. Because they both know me. So that should make some comical content, because I'll be like, where the bloody hell did this go? You know, plugged it in there and there's smoke. I'm like, woo. So I just sort of disconnect the battery, and then another one started, and I'm like, where the hell's that? So I pulled the thing off, the cover off the fuse box. Now, I'm used to HGVs, and you pull the cover off, and you've got all the fuses and what they do, and I thought I'd just put a fuse. I've turned the cover over, there's nothing, there's no diagram. I don't know what any fuse does. I'm like, now what do I do? And so I'm running around frantic, like, I give up. I really give up. But the only reason it's on my driveway is because I've got a driveway. Simon doesn't. He's got a driveway, but it's big enough for 2 cars. And he can't store this there because he's got another car. It's a long story, whatever. His garage is just a garage, and of course the BMW's in that, whereas I've got the garage and a driveway for at least 4, if not 5 cars, so I ended up pulling the short straw. Dan lives in a flat with allocated parking, so that's a no-go. Gary, well, he's got a decent-sized garage, but it's got his Subaru in it, and he's got no room to store a car there, and he wouldn't anyway, and he's too far away, whatever. And Jamie, well, his driveway's got a Clio on it, and that's about all you can fit on it. His R8 has to be stored in a separate rental garage. So yeah, I'm the poor sod who's got the storage, which is why the Jag is here. Because this isn't actually mine, it's still Simon's. But yeah, so I should continue to remember to start this up once a week. And I was going to be making most of my content from inside this vehicle each week or every other week, because then I'd remember to start it up. But I haven't been doing that. Naughty me. But yeah, it's been a fun day. It's been an annoying couple of weeks for me. And as far as the truck driving thing, I mean, it's with everything going off at the moment, it's the straw that broke the camel's back. I can't make everything work. It's physically impossible for little old me to do it. So something's got to give. It's going to be a number of weeks before I get my TFL license, because it took Simon quite a while, and even on their website it's saying it will take a while because of the volume of people that are doing it because of Uber. But yeah, I'll have to do a topographical test. According to Simon, it's literally they just want to see whether you can read a map. Yeah, I can read a map. Yeah, they want to know whether you can find places, figure out where to go. I mean, it's one of those things. They've got to cover their bases. I'm not doing a black cab license or anything like that. I'm not doing the knowledge. I'm not going to be one of those cabbies. It's a private hire thing, so you're booked in advance. You know where you're picking up from. You know where you're dropping off. You pre-plan the route, that kind of stuff. So shouldn't be too difficult. Hopefully I'll get through it. I mean, I should do. But yeah. But anyway, there you go. That's a little update. I've done a bit of a longer one, simply because I didn't upload last week. Because of this blasted thing. The one that's in that camera I got when I got the GoPro, so it's relatively new, so I know it's working. But yeah, that's about it, really, I suppose. I can't think of anything else to blather on about. So thanks for watching as always. Oh, yes, that's what I said in the last one. I can't believe I actually have to say this. I got a couple of direct messages from a couple of you. I won't mention any names because if you direct message me, you're doing it to stay anonymous. So I'll respect that. No, I don't know Ian Seabrook. I do not know Hubnut personally. It was just a random thing. Okay? He tweeted that he was going to be in Basildon Festival Leisure. That's not a million miles from where I live. I mean, he lives in Wales. That is a distance. I can't just travel up there and say, hello. You know, and when he does a Hubnut social in Cumbria, I can't just take the day off and go, hello, because I just couldn't. It's too far. But Basildon, it was a case of, I'll stop in and say hi. And I tweeted, is there any issue if I bring my cameras and make some content? And he went, no, not at all. So, he's a good bloke, he's a decent guy. So I trundled down there. Of course, the Terrican made it onto his channel. That was my Terrican. I was like, yeah, he's made it onto my channel. He did give it a mention. But it's literally, I just randomly tweeted him. I don't know him, never met him before. I probably won't meet him again unless we bump into one another at a car show at some point in the future. But no, I don't know him personally, socially, or anything like that. So, yeah, okay, hopefully that answers your question, because I had a couple of DMs going, I didn't know you knew Hubnut. No, I don't. Okay, I really don't. One thing is, because of what I want to do with the car channel, part of it is going to car shows and chatting to people about their cars and stuff like that. Well, I have stage fright. Okay, I really, really do get nervous. I don't publicly record. You'll have probably noticed it in some of my uploads from cabs where I've been sitting in yards. I'll suddenly stop talking and you'll see me kind of, my eyes moving, watching somebody because I've noticed them watching me, and it's actually put me off. I get real bad stage fright. And because of what I want to do, I thought the Hubnut thing, there won't be too many people there. Let's do something live. Well, there was a lot more people than I was assuming was going to turn up, and that's why the interview was kind of a car crash. I had all of these ideas, all of these questions I wanted to ask him. You know, I wanted to talk about his 2CV Ellie, because from what I've seen of his uploads and what he said about it, Ellie is kind of Trigger's broom. It's Ellie in essence. He's replaced virtually everything. And so I wanted to cover that. But I was standing there was all these people about, and he's got some decent fans. They moved out the way. They were all, you know, milling about, but there was people the other side who were watching us doing it, and that was putting me off. And all the questions I had just disappeared. They just buggered off. I did the intro correct, and obviously that he was on his little drive, but I forgot everything else. Where the hell that Mr. Bean comment came from, I don't have a clue. That was a panic. That was a pure, I've got nothing else to say. And it just popped into my head. I wasn't supposed to say anything like that. I didn't want to ask a question. I didn't want to talk about that. You know, I wanted to go on and talk about Ellie. I was a rabbit, trapped in the headlights of a freight train. I was panicking like hell. Fortunately, I've got a stabilising thing in my editing software. So, because the raw file was, because I'm holding it on a selfie stick with both hands and I'm shaking. You know, I've got a natural shake anyway, but I was panicked at the time, and you know, I'm properly, yeah, and I was like, I can't upload that, but fortunately the stabilisation stuff I've got on the software I use for editing stabilised it. So that was a bonus. But yeah, if you're curious, no, I don't know him, and the reason that interview was such a train wreck is I've never publicly recorded, I've never publicly interviewed somebody I don't know. Well, I've interviewed people privately that I know, but never publicly, and I just panicked. It was a complete panic. So yeah, apologies for that one. But there you go. I just thought I'd clear that one up, because I did do a lot more about that in the upload that obviously wasn't. So yeah, I can't think of anything else, because I said that, I said this, talked about that. Obviously Simon's had his kid. I'm just making sure I thought of everything, because obviously I didn't upload last week and I'm trying to cram everything into this one. I did recall quite a bit of myself and Simon just having a conversation a couple of weeks ago, just over an hour and a half. Got to edit that down, but I got the frame rate wrong. It's kind of a... We were just buggering about, and I thought there's so much there that we could do a kind of Bill and Simon podcast video thing. If you follow me on Twitter and Facebook, you'll have noticed that I carried out a poll to see if you'd actually watch it, and you majoritively voted to say yes, you'd watch it. The thing is, I have fluorescent bulbs in my garage, and there's a way of setting your frame rate up your camera so that it doesn't flicker, so the light doesn't flicker. Well, I got my frame rates wrong, so the light is flickering. So I'm trying to edit it down. It's going to be a long one, whatever, but many apologies. It's a single camera angle, a bit like this one, and it flickers. But I'm editing that at the moment. It's taking a long time. And to stop this from taking a long time, because I'm now at 36.5 minutes, virtually, I better end. So thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, share about, do whatever it is you usually do. I'll keep you informed as to what's going on car channel wise and all this kind of stuff, and I'll keep you informed as to my progress with the taxi stuff and how much longer I will be driving a truck. But I've got 3 bouts of CPC to do by September, and I'm not going to bother. Hopefully I will be driving a taxi by then. Yeah. But anyway, cheers for watching. See you later.